Very good evening, everybody. Meeting again with the syllabus of third year's BHMS and Materia Medica session. Last time we have finished one of the important remedy, that is the Staphy's agria, and today we are going to learn one more important remedy, in fact most common remedy in our day-to-day homeopathic practice, and that is the Stramonium. There are three close remedies from the same family. This is the remedy from Solanaceae family. Dr. Hahnemann sir have proved this remedy. And the belladonna, hyoscyamus and stramonium. These are the three remedies which are very close to each other and which belongs to the same family. All of them affect the human mind strongly, but in each its own way. Belladonna affects the human mind, produces a violent mania. The hyoscyamus affects the human mind, producing lascivious mania. And stramonium affects the human mind, producing religious mania. Same family, but species are different and having a different action. This remedy is a wonderful remedy which we used to get in our day-to-day practice. Once you understand how the patient behaves, specifically the children behaves, very common remedy in children than elders. How these children behaves, what are the presentations? Already I think I have made a video earlier with this remedy. But today I will going to share Allen's aspect. But before that, few important things. One is common state of stramonium, whatever may be the disease, whether it is fever, whether it is coryza, whether it is cough, whether it is sore throat, whatever may be the acute condition, and the child is brought to you. And as soon as he enters inside the clinic, starts crying, shrieking, and wants to hold the mother's or father's hand and absolutely clings them and crying very strongly. And they don't want to go inside the chamber, they want to go out. They, the child was absolutely normal, not at all crying, but as soon as he enters inside the clinic, starts crying and shrieking. Because they fears the injection. And they are known to the injections because right from the birth, they are taking the different vaccines, and every time that that pain they have suffered from. And that's why, because of injections, they fears a lot of entering your clinic. So whatever problem the child has been brought, but if this state is marked, that is, they are crying with and shrieking. So shrieking children in one rubric you can take. Second, why they are shrieking? Because there is fear. The fear behind that is getting injured. So fear injured of being, that is second important rubric. Third important rubric is that they clings to those who are around, clings to the father, clings to the mother, clings to or holds someone very strongly. So clinging children of persons or furniture to third rubric. Fourth rubric is that these are the children who wants to go out. They tries to go out, escape desire to. That is another important thing which you can find it out with the children. Many times these children all of a sudden gets frightened during sleep and they cling to those near around. So that is another rubric. Awakes terrified and clings to those near around. That is again stramonium comes over there. And this is the common state with which the children are brought to you. So whatever may be the acute state for which the child is brought, you give the stramonium and you see the result. I have seen that n number of times, and these children later becomes your friend. Afterwards, they never fears you because they know now that you will not going to injure them. In fact, you are going to give them sweet pills. So that is the common state with which I used to prescribe in acute state stramonium. But what I want to share is the case of autism, and who has reacted very fantastically with this remedy. The child was brought to me right from Delhi, and child was absolutely made a havoc in my OPD. He was so restless. He was continuously moving and there, here and there, and continuously shrieking and continuously shouting, and everywhere wants to touch everything. They are here, going here and there, and then jumping on the sofa set and everything. And whenever he was restricted, he used to shriek loudly. That was the chaos he has made outside in my OPD. And same thing has been there when he was brought in my chamber. And he was not allowing, or he was not able to sit in one place. That's the problem. Second important thing, he was not aware what is going on outside. He was not even listening what his parents were saying. So even though you try to make him close or by his name, he was not looking towards that. And that is the problem with the autism. It is a behavioral disorder. And that these children, they are not aware what is happening around them. They are not aware about the social thing. And that's why they goes on, or they used to remain in their own world. And that is very characteristic of this stramonium state. And that's what I have observed. He was also, whenever he was restricted or he was taken to the bed, he was not allowing to check, and he avoids to look towards the mean. So evades the look of physician. That is another rubric which was there with stramonium. So it was nearly about 1 hour the thing was going on, and I was observing on my cameras. Through the cameras, I was observing when he was there in outside, as well as whenever he entered in my clinic. I reported his case, and I have started directly stramonium in LM scale. Right from LM11 it was started in repeated doses. Stramonium, it has been said many times that it is acute, but it is not having so acute like belladonna. It has around period of action is 12 to 24 days, as explained by P. Shankaran sir in his book. And that's what also I have observed, that it has a deep action also. It is pace is acute, but action is deep. This is one important thing which you can find it out with the stramonium. So I have prescribed him stramonium LM11 and continued him for a month, and I observed him after 1 month. And they brought right from Delhi for the follow-up. It was interesting follow-up. When he was there in my clinic, absolutely he was sitting in one place, not made the chaos. Only thing he wanted to go out because he wanted to see uh, outside everything. But the chaos or the havoc which he has made in earlier first consultation, it was totally stopped. And parents were too happy. That's why they brought right from Delhi to Sangamner for follow. And they were too happy. They said, Doctor, first time this has been observed that after starting your medicines, he has completely changed. And we are happy because now we have to now we can manage him, which was not possible to manage him earlier. And I have continued him 11, 12, 13, 14. After some time, I have complemented it with the Calcarea state. Because it has been said, even by Ken Mathur sir, he has mentioned about this, that this remedy should be complemented with a constitutional remedy. And it's needed because stramonium doesn't carry that much of depth in its action to cover or complete the cure. And this patient was recovered very nicely with the help of Stramonium. So this is wonderful remedy which we have to understand. Many facets are there with Stramonium, and we have to understand word by word. So open your book, Allen's Notes. It is thorn apple, which is common name remedy from Solanaceae family, like belladonna and hyosamus, adapted to elements of young plethoric persons. So see the pest and the constitution where it acts commonly in young plethoric person. They are very acute, plethoric, like aconite, like belladonna. Especially the children, underline this, especially the children in Korea. Korea is involuntary movements of the muscles, single muscles, group of muscles. Especially children in Korea, adapted to children with mania and fever delirium. This is another important feature where we can use this remedy, Stramonium, fever delirium. So whenever fever comes, they goes into delirious states like baptisia, but baptisia, it goes into stuporous condition also, and drowsy condition, toxic look. The delirium is associated over there. So this is the acute remedy producing fever along with the delirious state. Very, very important remedy for fever. Delirium. What type of delirium this remedy is? Patient or the children goes on talking, they becomes loquacious during delirium. So fever comes and they becomes loquacious. Tremonium is most important. Delirium, loquacious, talks all the time. They go on talking, talking, talking. You understand that fever has come. This is how the patient tells, doctor, once he started talking a lot, we know that he is getting fever. Talks all time, sings. Singing is another important feature where Stramonium is mentioned. Singing, belladonna, Stramonium. Sings, makes verses. That is another important feature. Raves, simulates, belladonna, and hyosamus. It differs in degree. These are three remedies which comes very close to each other, but it is between belladonna and hyosamus the Stramonium comes. What is that is mentioned by him in the next paragraph? Why, how it is different, and in between state is covered by Stramonium over there. The delirium is more furious. Furious means very angry, tremendous anger, santap, furious mania, tremendous anger. The delirium is more furious, the mania more acute, while the congestion, though greater than hyosamus, is much less than belladonna. Congestion is there, but that congestion is more than hyosamus, but not more than belladonna. It is less than belladonna. In between state, the congestion of a brain between the hyosamus and belladonna, in between state is covered with Stramonium, never approaching the true inflammation. Belladonna approaches inflammation. The congestion, you can see the signs of inflammation, the redness, the heat. All those are very, very characteristic which are there in belladonna. Here, you cannot get that state. Here, inflammation is not completely settled. That is Stramonium. So it is in between state between the hyosamus and between the belladonna. Furious word is very important. Furious means santap. Disposed to talk continually. You observe sometimes and he is continuously talking like loquacity. You think that it might be lachesis. It might be cicuta. But this is different. This happens more commonly, generally in delirious states. They goes on talking and talking and talking. Incessant and incoherent talking. It is non-stop. It goes on and goes on continuously, incessant, avirat, incoherent. Incoherent means they are not in coherency, not in harmony. They talks, but there is no thread. That is very important. Incoherent talking and laughing. Laughing is another feature which comes. Here, sometimes you feel that it might be lachesis. More commonly, it looks very close to the lachesis, but it is not like that. Praying. There are many very important features. Praying, beseeching and entreating. Vinavni karna. This is very important. That's why it has been labeled as a religious mania. They goes on praying, goes on beseeching or entreating, and they talks in such a manner. Generally, we used to think that religious mania means patient goes on doing religious things again and again. It is not like that. These are the people who talks in such a manner as if they are praying you. During the whole consultation, at least 10 times they praise you, doctor. Please do something, doctor. Please do. I'm literally praying you that you do something for me. Their tone is very important. They are asking for something from you. That is a praying. That is prayer. That is religiousness. They believe on you that you will do at least something for them. That type of praying which you can get with the Stramonium. So this is not every time they are praying in front of God. This is a very superficial understanding of the rubric praying. Here praying is you can observe in their behavior and their behavior with you. You can catch that the way he's talking is very important. That is what is praying. So disposed to talk continually, incessant and incoherent talking and laughing, praying, beseeching, entreating, with suppressed menses, specifically in young girls. If this type of state comes with suppression of menses, then you are damn sure that this is Stramonium. So Stramonium delirious states, the talking, laughing, singing mania, it comes generally whenever the discharges are suppressed. The men, specifically in case of female, the mania, it happens because menses get suppressed, and then this happens. So this is the mental state. If you understand properly, then you can utilize this remedy very commonly. Desires light and company. They cannot remain alone. They always want someone should be there. They goes on asking many times many questions. These children comes to you and they ask, what is this? What is this? What is this? A number of things. They move here and there, looks for something, and they ask immediately, what is this? They ask to parents, what is this? But if you don't give the answer, it's well and okay for them. It is not the inquisitiveness, the curiosity like any other remedy, like cases. It is not a curiosity. They are not inquisitive. They wants to throw a light upon it, but question was asked lightly, and it was not kept up continuously over there with this Stramonium. And that's why they desire light. Light, yes, in the sphere of physical sphere, yes, they like the light. They don't like darkness. They fears dark. There is an aversion to dark. Yes, that is also at the physical level you can get. Yes, they requires light. Cannot bear to be alone. That is very important, like bismuth. Cannot remain to be alone. They always desire someone should be there because they get frightened very easily. That is fear while alone being. Stramonium is there. Worse in the dark and solitude. That is very important. They get aggravated whenever there is darkness, whenever they are alone. They get very much aggravated because of it. Cannot walk in dark room. So even though the younger son, who is elder son, who is nearly about 6 or 7 years, but he fears to go into the dark room, or if he want to go to the toilet, He wants someone, even someone who is even have younger than him, but they want support. They want someone should be there. They never goes in dark. That is very typical or characteristic of this remedy. Cannot walk in dark room. Awakens with shrinking look, as if afraid of first object seen. During sleep, they all of a sudden gets up. There was something as if some horror scene have been seen by them during dreams. And they would get so frightened that whoever is there near to them, they goes and clings them. Their face is absolutely terrified. So this is very important with the Stramonium. Stramonium children, they are more frightful children. They easily get frightened with such a things. So frightened easily, awakes terrified. Hallucinations which terrify the patient. Any type of hallucination always terrifies. They cannot look towards such a things. And they even something, some movement is happening over there, but they fear there is something. They are more frightful children. Desire to escape in delirium, belladonna, bryonia, opium, rush talk. Here, not only in delirium, every time they want to escape from that place. Specifically, when there is fear of injured of being, they always tries to go out, escape desire for. That is very, very important rubric of this remedy. As well as during delirious states, they always want to go out. That is escape desire for. So belladonna is also there, bryonia, opium, rush talks. Imagines all sorts of things that she is double, lying crosswise like petroleum. So this type of delirium, which is very common with this stramonium, that is, their head is cut down, it has been cut down into pieces. They observe that they are lying in bed and they are double. That such types of imaginations are quite common. You can get with this remedy. So if you go through the stramonium state, you get many features which are which you can very easily get in children over there. One important feature is there in this stramonium is painlessness. The painless feature, like opium, that is also there with this stramonium. They get aggravated from looking at bright shining objects and they get frightened very easily because of that. It is close to the belladonna, but this is very common with the stramonium also. That is what is the fears of illusions or imaginations or hallucinations terrify them. So this is what is the state of the mental state. The head feels as if scattered about, like baptisia. The head feels that it has been scattered about. That is also a hallucination, delusion of the stramonium. So this is a mental sphere or psychological sphere of which we have discussed from Allen's keynotes. Remaining part of the stramonium we'll learn in tomorrow's session, where the physical sphere of stramonium we're going to understand. This remedy action not mentioned in Boring, but it has been mentioned in P. Shankaran sir's book. That's why you add it in your book, 20 to 24 days action. And wonderful remedy to be learned, specifically in acute autism cases or ADHD cases, where stramonium is one of the important remedy which comes after repertorization. So that's all for today. Tomorrow we'll going to meet again with the remaining part of the remedy. So thank you being there. We'll meet tomorrow. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Good night.